Okay, so we should be streaming. We should be streaming now to Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and obviously we're here on Discord. Do you want to just take people through a little bit of what's happened, Andy?
Yes. So over the last several months, and apologies if a couple of people are aware of this from a meeting yesterday. Over the last few months, we've been talking with a particular chap who runs a particular metaverse.
Right. Just before you go on, let's just be careful what we say because we don't want to. The actual announcement needs to come from them. All right.
Yeah. So we can only say so much, unfortunately, because the press release is all being worked on for announcement next week. But we have been talking to a particular chap in a particular metaverse for several months now. As everybody's aware, we have been performing in the Infiniverse, we've been performing Bloodbeat Spatial, and we were looking to partner with other metaverses as well. We had lots of conversations with this chap, and about 8 weeks ago, Simon and I put a proposal forward to get him more heavily involved in the Joke project and for us to formalise a much stronger working partnership with him, his metaverse, and other associated companies who are significant in size, significant in funding. I think that's probably an understatement, actually. And we put that proposal forward. We didn't hear back. He had been very, very busy. We were hoping to meet him in Miami. He couldn't make it, but we did have a Zoom call with him from Miami, the Airbnb after Miami NFT week. Slightly to our surprise, he said, "Yeah, great. In fact, we don't need to do that and that bit, but take that out," which was to our benefit. He was like ready to rock and roll. So when we decided on the way back that it would be prudent that at least one of us go over, so Simon decided to go over and meet him in Europe. He met this guy. I need to be really careful what we say here. He actually cancelled his meeting with one of the world's biggest media companies, entertainment companies.
Well, you can say who he cancelled the meeting with.
Okay, he cancelled a meeting with Universal Pictures, who he's working with, to meet Simon. He signed the agreement there and then, which is a 7-figure deal, ongoing, much bigger. And on Friday, we had a meeting with his team. He brought his global team in, management team, and he made things happen straight away. And
he has a team of 150 people.
Yeah. So that's all. It's amazing, really, really positive. And out of that, and I'll let Simon go on to the next bit, we are going to be running a very large event in August. We are going to be bringing in some of the best comedians around and comedians of all levels. And it's going to demonstrate our entire ecosystem of gated entry with NFTs, payments to charities, payments to the comedians and comedy clubs of all levels, payments to the Joke project so we can build out the project, and also some rewards for the community from a pay-to-watch perspective, which is the entire ecosystem that we've been trying to do. This deal allows us to fast forward all of that now, and in September we will be going, here we are. We are also building out opportunities with sponsorships. In fact, I'll let Simon tell you the meeting that we had earlier with a certain comedian who's got a certain link to somebody. We've potentially got one of the biggest brands in the world that could also be coming in as a sponsor. So everything's starting to happen. I hate being vague, it's doing my nuts in, but because the official press release has not been done and this partner needs to release it because of his involvement with a multi-billion-dollar company who are also part of this, we can't say who it is. We have told certain key members of the team for various reasons because we're having to crack on with a lot of work already. So that's I hate to say it, a vague overview. Simon, do you want to add a little bit more in without giving anything away? We can talk about the event certainly, can't we?
Well, yeah, obviously the launch or the relaunch of the token, there will be another NFT drop, which you guys, if you hold Jungle Cats, won't need to get involved in, because it will be so that people can gain access to the content. I have been having conversations at a very high level with, I'll be careful what I say, but the ecosystem as we see it or saw it will have to change slightly so that we are not deemed to be a security in the US. So once you start talking to this level of person and then they say, we might need to change that piece, we will be re-engineering the ecosystem slightly. It will be even more in the benefit of the NFT holders. So, and that means the Jungle Cat holders, not the holders of any NFT that subsequently gets dropped. So we do genuinely foresee a future where the Jungle Cats become one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable NFT projects on the planet very quickly, when you see what's about to happen. So the Jungle Cat holders will most definitely be receiving revenue back to them. The issue is if I start paying revenue from sponsors and advertisers to token holders, that then opens us up immediately to being a security in the US, which then I know what I'm going to do. I just can't say it out loud yet, right? Because if I do, somebody may well try and copy what I think is pretty, well, absolutely unique in the space. And when we prove what we're about to prove, which is not now going to be difficult, having signed a deal, and the guy literally snatched the paperwork from my hands to sign it without me having. I was preparing myself at the meeting, to do the close and to sit there and go, okay, so can we put pen to paper on this and let's get it over the line and see what. It was literally snatched out of my hands and signed, and that's because the people that he's working with are, I don't want to use the word desperate, but I want to say that they are very, very keen to have some significant content in a metaverse which they are developing, that is already developed, but they are putting an extension onto which will change the space globally, right? They've been building something and looking at the right time to launch it, and then they're sat there going, well, what content is there to put into it? And we happen to come along at the very, very most opportune, perfect moment and say, oh, would you guys like to have the world's first and biggest comedy festival in the metaverse and exclusively sign up to that? And they went, oh, that might be quite interesting. And once that got talked about at board level, but with a global $1 billion plus company, and they went, we're having that. And then we started, well, everyone we've talked to now is like, you wouldn't believe how excited people are that know what we're, as I say, we can't. I would love to announce it, and exactly what Andy says, it's so difficult being vague, but the announcement needs to come from them, because once people understand what's about to happen, it needs to come. It doesn't come from us. It doesn't come from, with the greatest respect, we are a tiny little entity compared to what we're about to get into bed with, and but they come with the influencers that have tens of millions of followers and just literally say, can you please tweet about this? And they do, right? That sort of stuff would cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars normally. And in the past, we've previously had to spend thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. I think on the Jungle Cat launch, we ended up spending over $100,000 to get it launched, right? We won't need to spend a penny to get this launched, because the partner that we're going to hold hands with through this whole process, and more excitingly, they have all of the tech that's already off the shelf built. They have the ability to drop an NFT that you can use an NFT to enter an event, but also once you enter an event, it takes one of your credits away. So you might, for example, buy an NFT which entitles you to go and see, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but entitles you to go and see 50 comedy shows, and then once you've used your 50 credits off of your NFT, you need to go and buy another one from the project. So all of this tech is already built. We do not have to promise whether it will get delivered, hope that it gets delivered. It's already built, tested, and ready to plug into our project again for free because they want to get involved with us. We're already talking to some of the groups that we're already, partnered with in the UK and the US who are able to give us the comedians for the event. That isn't going to be the issue. We are going to be able to pay those comedians, which has been the issue. That has been the issue because, if you go to someone like Jim Gaffigan and he wants 25k to do a show, with the greatest respect, I'm not getting 25k out of my own pocket to pay Jim on the hope that I get enough people to tie up, to turn up to the show to recoup the 25k because the space is too young. But these guys are building or have built and already have the ability to stream into all of the different channels, into mobile, into web, into Web3. So there's nothing that we literally need to do other than turn up with all of our comedians and they will help us advertise it. So it's we can't lose. We literally can't lose. We just now need to put a lot of work in to get to it's going to probably be August. So we've got 3 months to run up to get all of that prep done, to make sure that the delay is that they have a couple of pieces of tech. They have tested it, but they are not confident that we could just go, right, let's do it next week. They have dictated the terms in terms of the timeline. They probably would have agreed to July, but they said, look, if please can we do August? And we weren't going to put a single roadblock in the way of getting into to business with somebody who signed a seven-figure deal with us straight away, and should, touch wood, lead to us having proof of concept and the ability to then turn this into $100 million+ project potentially this year. So that's where we're at. We are unfortunately going to have to wait to give you the full announcement because the PR has to go through the hands of it has to be done right. It's not something that can just be made up on the spot and released, and we need to also make the most of it because there will be a really, really big splash in the industry from it. We have also the opportunity to I'll again be very careful what I say, but one of the guys that we've been talking to has the ability to introduce us to a few hundred more comedians. Again, I'll have to be very careful what I say, so I'll leave that one. But there's a hint there that there's something else really, really big on the horizon, which we will be negotiating over the next couple of weeks. So, and having the deal on the table that we now have puts us in a whole new level. I literally had to watch. There is a 5.5 hour SEC hearing about crypto and what the US government is doing about securities, and I had to watch that entire 5 hours for compliance. So when we start, when you start understanding that that's where we are now as a project, hopefully people can really see that we will be able to take this global and make it the biggest. I don't see why we shouldn't be the biggest project in Web3. Why not? Or one of them, or talked in those terms. We will be pioneering all these different pieces of tech, and we will be partnered with. If I told you now, everyone will go, let's go and buy another 50 jungle cats each, because that's what would happen. But it's.
I think there's a couple of things I want to throw in just to clarify. We will be running the world's biggest comedy festival over 30 days in August. That's the plan. Barring a disaster, it won't happen. We will be running that event. That will have a minimum of 100 comedians stroke clubs performing over that period. everything from 30 minutes to 1 hour sets. Some of it's recorded, some of it's live, some of it's going to be from clubs, some of it's going to be on the streets of New York, some of it's going to be like car share. There's going to be a real mixture of things. There's going to be famous people, there's going to be not so famous people. We're going to look at doing stuff with kids, all different types of things. We're going to be building that out. That is going to happen. That will be a paid to access event through an NFT that doesn't affect the Jungle Cat holders. You'll get one of these anyway, and it's got credits on. Just to reiterate, it's got credits on, so you'll use those credits over the shows that you want to see. If you don't use them all, you can continue to use them for the months afterwards for events that we will continue to run. That's how that will work. Now, there is also part of that there's the possibility for those people that so wish will also get a real card in the post that they can use as a rewards card to actually see proper live comedy shows or other things. So that's also part of that rewards mechanism that's coming out there. Events will still be running in the other metaverses. We will still be doing things in the Infiniverse. We'll still be doing some stuff in Spatial and possibly one or two others that will be maybe slightly shorter, slightly different content, but the main stuff will be running in this other metaverse because it's gated and he can tell us the stats. We'll know how many people have been and how many people have done it. The other thing that's layered around this is that we're putting together a spreadsheet at the moment with all the partner companies which have got significant reach. We're going to be looking at all the social shares from all these different comedians and groups, which is a significant reach. And we're going to be doing a lot of promotion via YouTube, and we anticipate we will be driving 20 to 30 million eyes over that period on this event. And I would say that's minimum. I reckon we'll double, treble it easily because of the things that we're putting into place here. There's going to be a load of other PR on some big global and national stages that we're going to be looking at as well over the next few months. We've already secured a big UK name from a meeting earlier as one of the UK headline acts. He's got links into other big sponsors. He's really, really excited about it. And he's going to help us actually get it in front of other people as well. And this is what's happening. We've already had a couple of emails back from one of the other big management companies going, brilliant, this is interesting. And the reason is that we can start to help pay people now. That's the difference. And it will fly because of that. So be under no illusions, this is actually happening. And the other thing is, you can view that via a headset in the other metaverses and the new one that we're talking to, that we're doing the deal with, but that will also be streamed to Web2 platforms such as mobile and laptop, but it will still be gated via the NFT. So the reach is actually going to be much, much, much higher, and more people can access it without the need for a headset if they so wish, but they can still use a headset. So it's actually opening it up to a bigger audience. It will be truly global, and this is the one thing I would ask. Please talk to the rest of the community. I'm going to be putting a shout out to a few people if they know anybody. If you know a comedy club local to you that is interested in being part of the world's biggest and first global comedy metaverse event in Web3, and they're interested, please contact Simon or myself. We are also looking for different territories. We've got people in the States, we've got people in the UK, but if people know somebody who lives in Italy who can do a comedy sketch, Australia or Asia, they can be a new up-and-coming comedian because we'll put them on the days. It might be every Monday in August is Newbie Monday, where it's the opportunity for people to try their comedy. So there's so many opportunities that we can do. So if you know of anybody, or you think of a club or a group of comedians, please reach out to us, because as far as I'm concerned, and the rest of the team are concerned, and I use the team as a global collective now of the partners that we have, if we've got 300 comedians who want to perform, we can do it. It's not a problem. So we can have 50 comedy clubs. The more, the merrier. And the thing is, what will happen is that we'll continue to run and stream more regular comedy in more metaverses ongoing because of this, because we'll have the finances to do it, we'll have the infrastructure to do it, and we'll have the ecosystem to do it that will build it out. And the rewards for paying to watch will drive even more people. So there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And, you know, like I said, we're going to need a bit of help here because this has suddenly become huge. And if you do know any comedy people, please reach out to us. That'd be really good. So it is truly global.
And the sponsors. So the thing is, once we get, now that we're getting very close to, you sign one global brand as a sponsor, don't think that that doesn't add however many millions of eyes to the project, right? Not, you know, that something really different happens. You know, we do step up to be somewhere in the region of, you know, I don't know how many views something like, you know, the Edinburgh Festival gets. You know, it gets obviously a lot of people in venues, but it won't achieve what we're about to achieve. So the possibilities are off the scale. Like the guy we were talking to earlier has just agreed, I'm not going to name who it is, but he's just agreed to have his content on Netflix. And when you start talking, he then said, well, I can introduce you to, and mentioned a global brand, and said the person who runs that brand loves comedy and loves me, the person he was talking about, but also loves kooky ideas and different marketing channels, different stuff. Well, I think hopefully, and when we get to speak to that brand, hopefully we get that conversation in the next week, you know, you get a very quick, well, I'm doing it. Because it's not a lot of cost to these type of people, but it makes so much difference to our project. You know, it gives us the ability to pay people properly, which, you know, Andy and I to date have funded almost everything of this out of our own pocket and out of our own business, and we need to now get to the point where we build a team of people. We already have a decent team. You know, we've got people in this room that are parts of our mods and admins, and people that are founding members of the joke community. I did say to the mods and admins, and I will reiterate it to the people that are in this room listening now, those of you that help us, it will be recognised, right? We will reward you, not necessarily monetarily, maybe monetarily, but in terms of information and, you know, the chance to work with the team and be part of the project ongoing. That's the place we want. We trust you guys. You know, you are our founding members. You are the people that supported the project month in, month out, through the good times and the bad times, right? And have got us to this moment in time where we are genuinely on the very edge of world fame, right? Let's not damp it down. We have the ability now to be a global brand ourselves, right? And the people that helped us achieve that are you guys, right? And you guys you can point back to this AMA, right? And it's roughly half an hour in. I think it's about 23 minutes into the recording. And yeah, anybody at any point in the future can come back and say to me and Andy, look, you know, I'd like to maybe help out and do this and do that. Have you got some work? Can I help out? Be part of the team, right? We will have the ability to employ people, pay people, hopefully very, very well. And why not be as big as Netflix, right? And that's not a joke, right? This project, when I spoke to people in Miami and I said to them, we started a project as a joke. We genuinely started the token as a joke to rip, I'm not going to say a rude word, but to rip it out of all the meme coins and shit coins that were out there and say, look, you guys are a joke because you've got no utility. You don't care about what you're doing. You're just there to pump and dump, right? And now we've ended up potentially, we'll be able to then look back in a year's time and say something we started as a joke 2.5, 3 years ago is now a significant global brand and something that we can all be very, very proud of. So let's do it. You know, I can't really say I can't. I would love to be able to say this is who it is and this is what we're doing. You're going to have to wait, like everybody else, for the, for the global press release. I'm sure we can probably get the VIPs in at the moment that it's going to get released and give them a little heads up before it comes out publicly. But I think you'll all be very, very excited, as are we. So yeah, I don't think we can really say an awful lot more, Andy. But
we can. The one thing that I will say, I've been in the ad industry 30 years. I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people who know a lot of people at really high levels. You know, a friend of mine I used to work with is the chief exec of one of the biggest media buying companies in the world, and my problem's always been, it's the battle that we've had with the Infiniverse, and they're aware of this, and I know we're all part of that community, and it's a battle with most metaverses, is having the stats, hard stats, to take to advertisers or partners going, we've got this many viewers and we've got this. It's been hard, it's been a battle, we're all aware of that. What suddenly changes now is I will be putting together, and the comedian that we talked to earlier said, please send me a simple one-page, few bullet points, because if I can get it, and I said, I do get what you're doing, anybody will get it. And he said, even this advertiser will get it completely and understand. I now have the confidence as an individual, within the next 2 weeks, once I get the deck sorted and a bit more information sorted, to go to any brand and go, do you want your brand to be seen in a world first by 20, 30 million people minimum? Do you want your brand to be associated with helping mental health charities and making people laugh and giving comedians of all levels a leg up around the world? And do you want to be part of a system where people get rewarded for watching and engaging with the content, which is groundbreaking? And you want to do that for X amount, which quite frankly, when it costs you £60,000 for one full page ad in a crappy newspaper like The Sun in the UK that's not seen by that many people, what we're offering is a bargain, and we will get uptake on it. And once we start getting the people seeing that, and once they start seeing the headline names going, all right, okay, you've got these people and these people and these people, it's going to be a huge difference. And we are talking to those people. Emails have gone out, messages have gone out to all the people we've talked to, and once the ball starts rolling, this is absolutely going to fly, and we're going to see some of the best comedians in the world come on the stage, and we're going to help find the next best comedians as well, which has always been one of the things that we want to do. So, you know, I'm hardly sleeping with excitement at the moment, because everything's spinning around in my head, because I know there's so much to do, so much to do, so many things to solve, so many challenges to overcome, but that's brilliant. And I know now I can go to people with confidence and go, this is it. We're off to the races, guys, here. Do you want to be part of it or not? Because if you don't, somebody else will be. And people will kick themselves if they don't take up some of these opportunities with it, because it will be a big deal. And it runs at the same time. I was talking to somebody, Simon, the Montreal Comedy Festival, I think, is the last 2 weeks of July. And then obviously we've got the Edinburgh Fringe, which is August. So we kind of putting ourselves in and amongst the big comedy festivals, which you could say, is that a mistake? I don't think it is. I actually think we'll leverage it as going in the news, going, yeah, this is going on, but look what these guys are doing as well. So, yeah, I think it's really exciting. Please reach out to me if you know anybody as well. I'll reiterate that. I think next week, once we can announce everything properly with the PR, the next few AMAs are going to be brilliant. They're going to be amazing. There's going to be a lot of buzz go out there. There's going to be a lot more social go out there. And I really do need the community to like, share, comment in a positive manner. All the stuff that we put out, that all our content creators put out on our DCs, put something into the Discord app, please like and share what they do. DC is a really important partner with us in New York. He's going to be getting several things into this festival. He's just really excited. So, please, it doesn't matter whether you like some of the comedy that people do, it's irrelevant. It's overall the project. There's always going to be different types of comedy that people like or dislike. But please, share, comment, retweet as much as you can certainly over the next couple of months, because we're really going to need that help. And that's the one big thing I would like from everybody to do in the community. And when we will be doing some joint AMAs with some of these partners, I fully expect we're going to be taking our community over to their community and vice versa. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot more people come in, and we're certainly going to be asking all the comedians to get people to join in on the AMAs and the Discord channel as well, to bring their communities, because it will help them. And the guy earlier, he does get that. He realizes that, to get to new audiences, this is such a massive opportunity. So everybody has to help share, everybody else to cross share, which will be phenomenal if we pull that off. We will do. It'll be really, really cool. So yeah, that's enough of me getting excited and ranting. But I am absolutely buzzing with it.
I think that's a really good point. A really good point you made is positivity across everything that we do. And I know if people know me and you know how much, and this is probably the biggest contradiction statement that you'll hear, is I absolutely hate negativity, right? I cannot stand people who are negative, right? And people will know that about me. We as a project are here to spread a positive message across the world with comedy, and you guys are our gatekeepers, and I want you guys driving, please, the engagement across the channels, the discussion on Discord, that messaging that's going out on social, making sure that you are policing what I am now saying, right? I do not want to see any FUD. We're going to get it. We're bound to get some people that are naysayers, and a lot of that stems from jealousy, and it will come, right? So when we see that, we as a community, we either don't engage with it or we remove it, right? And unless somebody's got a valid point, maybe they have got a valid point, right? If they've got something, if they've spotted something that needs fixing, we'll fix it. But I want to see positivity across everything we do and every piece of social we do, and there will be massive opportunity to engage with millions and millions of people across what we're about to do. Like Andy says, I'm buzzing as much as he is. We wish we could tell you more, we just can't just yet. But if it isn't a big enough teaser, you will find out in the next week or so. So keep your eyes peeled. Hey, Antoine.
I just want to say that since November of 2021, I just believe in y'all, and I knew that this was going to happen. And I talked to Andy.
You're breaking up on us, Antoine. We can't hear you. Yeah.
I think one other thing I would say.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to say that I knew this was going to happen. With patience and
we keep losing you, Antoine.
Everybody being on a team and people going places that some people can't be. All right, I'll get off.
Hey, hello?
I think Mark's come on stage.
I'm just going to say one thing. Sorry, Antoine, it kept breaking in and out, mate. I've got a few people messaging me saying, have we got some kind of deck to send to comedians and comedy clubs and stuff like that about what's happening? Not yet. We will be. Please bear with us. The deal was only signed last Tuesday. We had a first big meeting on Friday. It's only Tuesday now. It's taken us a little bit of time because there's a lot to do. There will be a deck for comedians and comedy clubs on how this is working, and there will also be a deck for sponsors and advertisers as well. There's just a lot of things to tee up to make those documents as slick and as easy to understand as possible. So you're going to have to bear with me a little bit, but it is my priority from a joke perspective. I've got to sort out the list of comedians who are performing, the fees that are involved, some logistics around it. Once I've got a little bit more nailed, I will be then putting a deck together that mention some of these names, and I will also, from a sponsorship perspective, and also getting other comedy clubs involved as well. Because at the end of the day, if a small comedy club or comedian, up and coming comedian, can think that they're on the same billing as, say, Jim Gaffigan, then why wouldn't they want to do it? It's only like a music festival. You want to be part of something big. So I will get that out to everybody as soon as I've got it done, and I'm quite happy to make it public within, you know, the Discord and other channels as well. I don't mind people seeing it. So as soon as I get it done, I'll let you know. That might answer several questions that are flying into me at the moment. Ooh.
Yeah, I think Mark's come on stage. I don't know whether Mark wanted to say anything.
I was just here for backup for Antoine. He's cutting out.
He cuts in and out continuously. Yeah, but
No,
I know.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I you know, I agree with his sentiments. I mean, it's yeah, it's really cool to see, you know, how far this has come and just the different directions the project has gone just organically, like out of just sheer coincidence in some, you know, just by chance in some instances, and it's really amazing. So very happy for you guys, and I wish I could have been there in Miami. I had a family wedding to go to, a little more northern on the East Coast, but I was there with you in spirit for sure. But super exciting times, and I'm really happy for everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. And I think, you know, from Simon and my perspective, for the record, there'll be no two men happier when this works than us two. There'll be no two men happier when we're able to reward the community and the comedians, and when we pull this off. We will be so happy when it works. When it works, because, you know, success in life is great, but it's actually better when it's shared, and that's what this project's about, and that's what we want. So, you know, I want us all to do really well out of this. I want us to have a good laugh. And in terms of, I think one of the great things about this now, when it raises the revenues and it gives us the money to do things, we will be going to more events. We will be spreading the word. There's going to be so many things happen. So we'll start doing stuff in the UK, other parts of the world, in the States, going to more conferences, getting on stage. So there's going to be loads more opportunities for the community to meet up in real life as well. And, you know, I think I can see another UK comedy club visit coming on pretty soon. And I can see another trip out to the States happening pretty soon as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of really positive stuff happen. So, yeah, it's exciting times.
And we do need to say a public thank you to Mark and Antoine, because, you know, the connection that came indirectly is through when they met somebody in Vegas. So without that happening, guys, you know, we appreciate exactly what's happened here, and thank you both for all of your efforts, and it's made a massive difference to the project, and it's now all going to come flooding towards us very quickly.
Yeah. It's pleasure. It's our pleasure, Andy and Simon. You know, me and Mark talked to everybody, and we talked to the right person, and it just happened organically. So it was all good.
And I think one thing I would add, I think the vision that we've had, once it, you know, over the last 6 months, 8 months, of how things have gone, Simon and I we've said so many times, why can't people see our vision? Why can't people see our vision? Why can't people see what we're trying to do? And actually, I think the reality is a lot of people do. It was just getting in front of the right people at the right time, at the right place. And that's what's happened. And a lot of people, you know, in Miami, we had such amazing feedback about this project. And every time we talk to people, every meeting we have, people go, yeah, buzzing, really, really, really good. I think what's happened because of the way the market is, people have been less inclined to get involved in things because they've just been very cautious. But we've never had anybody turn around and go, you're crazy. We've only ever had people go, yeah, brilliant. So I think people have seen our vision. They've just not been in the right place to support it. I think that's changed now. That has fundamentally changed. And it's like anything. People will jump on the bandwagon now and want to support it even more. So, you know, it is exciting times. All I would say to people as well is just bear with Simon and I. the next week or two, there's a lot to do. We are going to need help from people. We've already started asking for some of that help. There's going to be a lot more to do. We can only run at a certain amount of pace at the moment with some of the things. So it will take a little bit over the next few weeks. It's going to be pretty frantic with things, but we will get there. We will start asking for more help, and it's just really exciting. I'm
Well, there's nobody working harder than the two of you in Web3 that I've seen. So it's well deserved.
Thank you.
And so we've got a spot set aside for us in the crypto magazine whenever we want to decide to do that. And I have no doubt that when our announcements get out there that we'll at least have a good shot at being on the cover, depending on the timing.
Brilliant. That'd be great. Yeah, I think that's really good.
Well, let's
Really?
ideally.
And I guess
Yeah, ideally
could-
that's some point in early July.
I know there's still much more work to be done, but definitely special thanks to Colleen. Everybody knows Jane, I mean. And, she's really carried this Discord through, just many iterations and, a lot of configuration and just kept on top of stuff. And, now we have so many other people getting involved too, Sammy and, a few others. But yeah, it's cool. It's a good team. And, everybody's just, kicking ass. I think it's really great. And it hasn't let up. That's a really great thing. Honestly, I've been any part of any project this long where it's like it's still chugging forward. You know what I mean? It's still and it's new things coming and it's getting bigger and better, and it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, no more chugging. We're gonna do a bit of running now. So
Yeah, we've got a very solid community of positive people behind us. It's amazing. It's awesome.
It is awesome, and I thank you, everybody. It's it's humbling for us, so we really appreciate your help. And like I said, off to the races now. Proper galloping time.
So on that note,
We're going to gallop all the way to the bank, my people.
my people, yeah. On that note, I'm going to stop the recording.